Hi, this is my faction battle simulation final project, and I'm going to show you how it works. I decided to make it on Unity because I had this idea to expand upon it after the semester is over, so that it is a more interesting simulation besides just watching a text file with output. So we can see here a very basic UI elements where you can enter the number of factions, the number of warriors per faction, and the stochastic matrix. And you can also select a random configuration. The random configuration right now goes up to 7 factions and the number of warriors up to 20, just to test it out because it like the visual elements. However, this configuration can be changed, and you can see here how the stochastic matrix is also randomly set up. And I'm going to do 2 rounds. The first one is going to be this random one, and then I'm going to enter the input so that you can see how both ways work. And when we go into battle, the factions start attacking each other, and you can see here in the stats the number of warriors that each faction has and how it's decreasing based on attacks. And you'll see how when one of the factions is eliminated, the matrix is reconfigured accordingly, depending on the faction that was eliminated, and this goes on until one of the factions wins. And this here is the idea that I had, where when I have more time, I will include some models of warriors, so that, for example, if faction 5 have 10, then 10 pink warriors appeared, and so on for each faction. And during each attack, one of the warriors will go into the center against the other, and there will be like a small animation where they attack each other. One of them wins, and then they return, and so on until only one faction is alive. And that is to make it more interesting, like to watch the simulation. And I can go back into the setup and enter my own configuration. So for example, 40 and now 20, 34. Let's say it goes like this, and that can be 0. Let's say like this. Actually, it will be like this. As you can see, I can enter anything into the input, and it won't complain. That's because I am not handling errors right now, but that is also something that I'm interested in implementing in this project, the error handling. And here, let's say that we have this matrix, and we can see how they battle each other. Here you can see the output here, and the output is also written into a text file, which I'm going to show when this run ends. I have it configured so that the output file contains all the runs, like it appends each time you run a simulation. It appends the complete results to the text file. And right now, for example, I have a small delay of half a second, so each action happens every half a second, which is still pretty fast, considering that I plan on making animations that are probably going to last I don't know, 3 or 4 seconds. So simulation is going to go slower. However, it's going to be more interesting with all the things that are going to happen on the screen. And right now the simulation is over, so I can exit, and the hardware is going to be generated here, but I have to change tabs so that it appears. And now we can see the file. The file is based on the one that was provided as an example for the final project. We can see the initial stats, we can see the matrix configuration, the initial stochastic matrix, the initial number of warriors per faction, and each action. So for example, the initial configuration was that faction 1 had 12 warriors, and the first attack was from faction 2 to faction 1, and the number of warriors decreased. and this goes on until one of the factions is eliminated. And when that happens, let me find an example here. The matrix is reconfigured, and the faction that was eliminated no longer appears, and the probabilities are also altered. And this continues until one of the factions wins. So let me find here. Faction 5 was a winner in the first run, and you can also see how the output for the second run that I did, the one with the 3 factions that I manually configured, is also in the text file. And this is everything from my final project.